In the previous video, we discussed the different factors that naturally catalyze the secretion of growth hormone. If you are still in puberty or below the age of 16, you need optimal GH secretion to maximize your body growth potential. Hence, in this video we will discuss the different factors that inhibit growth hormone secretion, which may lead to growth hormone deficiency and stunted growth, especially among children. The first factor is body fat. Excess body fat, particularly visceral fat, can reduce growth hormone secretion through several mechanisms. Visceral fat is a type of body fat that is stored within the abdominal cavity and surrounds vital internal organs such as the liver, intestines, and pancreas. The breakdown of this fat in individuals with higher body fat leads to elevated levels of circulating free fatty acids. Free fatty acids have been shown to directly suppress GH secretion by acting on the pituitary. Higher body fat is also associated with insulin resistance, leading to elevated insulin levels. Elevated insulin can suppress GH release because insulin and GH are inversely regulated. Insulin inhibits the hypothalamic release of growth hormone-releasing hormone and reduces GH secretion by the pituitary. A number of studies have also linked obesity to a reduction in secretion of growth hormones due to the fact that obesity results into a reduction of ghrelin concentration in the blood. Lower levels of ghrelin, a hunger hormone that stimulates GH release, are often observed in people with higher body fat, further reducing GH secretion. The second insulin-related factor that can lower growth hormone concentrations in the blood is eating from time to time throughout the day. Eating too much, too often, may result to a reduction in HGH secretion simply because when carbohydrates are consumed through food they are broken down by enzymes in the small intestines to form glucose. Once glucose enters the bloodstream, the pancreas detects the increased glucose in the blood and secretes insulin in response to rising blood glucose levels. Insulin helps transport glucose into cells for energy or storage. Protein-rich meals and some fats can also trigger insulin secretion. In an experiment that aimed to investigate if overeating had any effect on GH secretion, 7 non-obese men aged 25 years on average consumed up to 70,000 calories per kilogram weight of standard meals with proteins and carbohydrates but fat-free every day. By the third day of the experiment, the average 24-hour concentration of GH in the blood declined by nearly 80%, while the average 24-hour insulin concentration doubled. We've already discussed how insulin jeopardizes growth hormone secretion from the pituitary gland. Alcohol consumption is another factor that can reduce growth hormone circulation in the blood. Growth hormone-releasing hormone is a hormone produced by the hypothalamus that stimulates the pituitary gland to release GH. Alcohol disrupts the normal release of growth hormone-releasing hormone by suppressing the activity of growth hormone-releasing hormone-secreting neurons in the hypothalamus, thereby reducing the stimulation of the anterior pituitary gland to release growth hormone. Somatostatin is another hormone produced by the hypothalamus that inhibits GH release. Alcohol consumption stimulates the hypothalamus, which triggers somatostatin-secreting neurons to secrete somatostatin. Even a single episode of heavy drinking can suppress GH secretion, particularly during sleep. Another factor that can reduce growth hormone circulation in the blood is cigarette smoking. Though some studies show that nicotine inhaled with cigarette smoking temporarily induces a threefold increase of GH levels by 30 minutes after smoking, a number of studies show that nicotine caused a 29% median decrease in serum growth hormone, particularly in females and rats. Smoking reduces growth hormone levels through several mechanisms. Nicotine and other compounds in cigarettes can interfere with the release of growth hormone-releasing hormone from the hypothalamus and subsequent GH secretion by the pituitary gland. Smoking also elevates cortisol, which is a stress hormone. High cortisol levels suppress GH release directly and antagonize its effects on tissues by reducing insulin-like growth factor 1 activity. Finally, smoking increases oxidative stress and systemic inflammation. Cigarette smoke contains thousands of harmful chemicals, including free radicals and reactive oxygen species, which contribute to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress happens when the body produces too many free radicals or lacks enough antioxidants to neutralize them. The increased oxidative stress leads to cell damage, inflammation. Increased oxidative stress can reduce growth hormone levels through multiple mechanisms, mainly by disrupting the hypothalamic-pituitary axis. Oxidative stress damages hypothalamic neurons, thereby reducing growth hormone-releasing hormone secretion, leading to lower GH levels. Simultaneously, oxidative stress can increase somatostatin, a hormone well known for inhibiting growth hormone, thereby suppressing GH release even further. Just like smoking, taking drugs like marijuana can reduce growth hormone secretion. Tetrahydrocannabinol, the main psychoactive compound in cannabis that produces the high sensation, affects the hypothalamus by reducing the release of growth hormone-releasing hormone, the hormone that stimulates GH secretion. Tetrahydrocannabinol can also increase somatostatin, a hormone that blocks GH release from the pituitary gland. Marijuana can also raise cortisol levels, and high cortisol suppresses GH production. However, the GH suppression from marijuana is usually temporary. If someone stops using cannabis, GH levels tend to return to normal. However, long-term heavy use may contribute to lower overall GH levels. A study that was presented to the European Congress of Endocrinology sought to assess the influence of marijuana addiction on the course of puberty and physical growth. After analyzing the data, the researchers concluded that marijuana-addicted boys had lower levels of growth hormones and were more than 4 inches shorter than their counterparts who did not consume the drug by the time they reached age 20. Finally, certain medications like glucocorticoids, opioids, and beta blockers can reduce GH secretion. Glucocorticoids are powerful medicines that fight inflammation and work with your immune system to treat a wide range of health problems like asthma, allergies and arthritis, eczema and other skin conditions. Studies show that administration of glucocorticoids leads to retardation of growth in rats and children on long-term treatment of such drugs because they inhibit GH secretion. Such drugs inhibit GH secretion due to the fact that they trigger the secretion of somatostatin by the hypothalamus. Examples of such drugs include milipid, prednisone, dexamethasone and hydrocortisone. Opioids are a class of powerful pain-relieving drugs that work by binding to opioid receptors in the brain and body. They are commonly prescribed for pain management but also have a high potential for addiction and abuse. Opioids act on opioid receptors in the hypothalamus. This reduces the release of GHRH, which is essential for stimulating GH secretion from the pituitary. Opioids also enhance the release of somatostatin from the hypothalamus. The most commonly prescribed opioids and some of the most common brand names include hydrocodone, oxycodone, morphine and fentanyl. While beta blockers are a class of medications that reduce blood pressure and heart rate by blocking the effects of adrenaline on beta receptors in the heart and blood vessels. They are commonly used to treat conditions like high blood pressure, hypertension, anxiety, migraines, and heart conditions. GH secretion is influenced by the autonomic nervous system, where beta-adrenergic activity enhances GH release. Beta blockers, especially non-selective ones like propranolol, block beta-adrenergic receptors, reducing the stimulatory effect on GH secretion. Examples of beta blocker drugs include propranolol, atenolol, metoprolol, carvedilol and bisoprolol. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, share and hit the subscribe button to watch more videos like this.